Introduction. Hello and welcome to our channel. In today's video, we will be discussing one of the most significant events of the 20th century, the Cold War. This period of tension and hostility between the United States and the Soviet Union lasted for almost 5 decades, shaping the course of international relations and world history. So, let's delve into the fascinating history of the Cold War. Background. The Cold War was not a conventional war, but a period of political and military tension between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. The hostility between the two nations began at the end of World War II when the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the two most powerful nations in the world. The arms race. One of the defining features of the Cold War was the arms race between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both nations were eager to build up their nuclear arsenals and achieve military superiority over the other. The race to develop weapons of mass destruction reached its peak in the 1960s, with the Soviet Union and the United States stockpiling thousands of nuclear warheads. The space race. Another aspect of the Cold War was the space race. Both nations were determined to demonstrate their technological and scientific prowess, and the competition to be the first to achieve space milestones was fierce. The Soviet Union made history when it launched the first satellite, Sputnik, in 1957. The United States responded with the launch of its own satellite, Explorer 1, in 1958. The space race continued throughout the 1960s and culminated in the United States landing the first humans on the moon in 1969. The Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1962, the world came close to nuclear war when the Soviet Union began installing missiles in Cuba. The United States saw this as a direct threat and demanded the removal of the missiles. After a tense standoff, the Soviet Union eventually agreed to remove the missiles, and the crisis was averted. End of the Cold War. The Cold War came to an end in the late 1980s and early 1990s with the collapse of the Soviet Union. The communist government was replaced with a democratic government, and the country underwent significant political and economic reforms. With the fall of the Soviet Union, the United States emerged as the sole superpower in the world. Conclusion. The Cold War was a period of intense political and military tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. It was defined by the arms race, the space race, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. The end of the Cold War marked a significant shift in world history, and its impact is still felt today. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this brief overview of the Cold War.